All right, short, quick update. It was actually warm today. It was kind of warm yesterday, and a couple days before, it was okay. But I went and got me a section. I was going to try and get this flattened out, which this looks terrible right now with all these bolts. But this is literally every spot weld. And I went through here, I drilled out every spot weld, opened it up a little section at a time. I'll show you guys, because here's the original. This thing literally looks like Swiss cheese. There's one. Here's another, because you can see when I straightened it out, or tried to, it bent that piece. And here's the other piece. And drilled out all the spot welds, put this one in. And I was a little off. I still had to beat it out this way, which it's got some beats right here. But what I'm going to do is once this, see I put the Permatex on there to kind of help seal it, because it originally will, like, the factory has a seal that runs all the way down through here, which you can kind of see some of it right here. I can go over here and you'll be able to see it really good. It is like the same as the body color, and it goes down through there. But got it all clamped together, and eventually what I'll do is I'll take out, well, I'll have my buddy help me do it, because I'm not too great with welding. I need to get better. I'm more or less a designer with stuff. But each bolt come out and then just tack up each hole, like, you know, grind, clean it off, all the Permatex stuff, tack each hole, and that'll work the same as a bolt, which I thought about leaving it like that, but that looks hideous. I don't like that at all. So, but got the new one on, got the bumper on, the fender's on, which, I mean, the gap is a little weird, like it's bigger at the bottom than it is at the top. So maybe there was actually some body damage that happened, because when I look right here, when you open this up, you can see that that little spot in the back is where the fender used to be, and if I push it back, that will no longer line up. So possibly bent in this area, probably a good guess. But yeah, got all that, got the bumper on. It's sturdy. I'm not going to leave it like this because it'll damage right through here on both sides, but it's hanging there and it seems straight. I haven't dropped the hood to see what it looks like, but yeah, I've got to work on that, because you can see, which the hood will be on sometimes but not all the time. The gap over here is terrible. There's a lot of stuff that I got to do. I don't even think these bolts are tied up under that. Yeah, they're not. But I don't typically have a hood on the car anyway, so. This side is perfect. I beat that side back and it's perfect, but the bumper, I'll probably just have to have it stretched a little like that right there, which is nothing terrible. I mean, there's no support here, so I could probably make do with what it is. But over here, I mean, like touching there, big old gap back there. So I don't know. I know the hood, I had to push the hood. This side is all the way forward and that side is all the way back, which the whole car had damage. Like this side had damage, and of course this side had damage. So I took that side, and originally I beat it out, I think, back in this way, and it didn't come in far enough, so I had to beat it in further. And then that side I had to beat it way out. And I think what I'm going to have to do is actually bend it, like originally how I kind of did that one, is to strap here, pull this way, and strap there and pull that way. But yeah, rear end's back in the car. It's not fully secured. I've got to get the shocks back up in there, which I've got one hanging. I wanted to repaint everything. But slowly working to get this thing back together. My main goal for now is to, a lot of you guys are gonna be like, oh, it's kind of counterintuitive, and not a good idea to do. But what I want to do is I'm gonna get, so that front end up in here, I'm gonna go over there and show you guys. I got new parts for it, put it all on, but get that put in here and the engine put back in, and that's it. And the reason I want to do that is because I had brake issues the entire time with the car, this piece right here. I had a little fitting that went from this to the master cylinder, and it always leaked. So I had to, every time I went to drive the car, I had to bleed the brakes entirely, which they weren't bad. I could gravity bleed them and have pretty good brakes. But when the car wrecked, from my memory, the car had no brakes, and I had been bleeding them all day. So I don't see how that was possible unless the links separated. So that, get the brakes in line, which I have over here. The fittings on. Those fittings are ready, and I've got the one in the back. Get the brakes done and get the steering fixed along with the power steering. Like, I want all that stuff right. But essentially the way that the engine bay will look is, I should have rolled that under there before I put oh well. But it'll kind of look like your normal like race cars. So there's going to be a tube that comes like from here to there, from here to there, like, you know, it's going to come around or whatever, and then probably be pretty open in the front for the most part. But this is all idea. I've got to get a picture of this and then draw up how I would like it to look. But there's that. What I did over here with this is I got an actual kit for the brakes, the big brake kit, because the ones I had, the way everything was set up, it wasn't working right, which these probably just need to be worked in now because they're still kind of stiff. But otherwise, like, everything's right with that. I got the steering link for that. Yeah, let's see, it works. And this is OEM, comes straight out of the G35 that it come out of. So gonna get that, gonna cut more of this off, probably gonna just cut here straight this way, cut all this out, all that out, and get it down to where I want it, which I showed in the last video is just straight down that way, and that's basically where I'm gonna cut. So just waiting for it to warm up a little bit more, which I didn't charge the batteries on the Sawzall, but we'll probably move this around and start cutting on it, getting it shaped up. And then over here, which all I have to do is just jack it up and put everything back in, which this side is together. That side's got one link to be put on, and the shock, and then the panhard bar. But other than that, like, I've got more paint down because a lot of it was bare. But little at a time, and I'll eventually get there, which really the next move is to clear everything out of the car. Like, it's just storage. It's got all the parts in it, and the new parts, like, example is, here's the new brake. Yeah, that's the brake one. There's the bias valve. And the clutch, I think, is over there. One for the clutch. Yeah, it's right there. I see it. Yeah. So, got new parts. Yeah, there's the brake one that broke. The brake broke. But got to get it all cleaned out. All the stuff that was in the car, like when the headlights shattered, we just took everything, threw it off in the car. And then I want to come back through with the Sawzall and clean some of this stuff up. Like this, that over there, clean up that line. Probably should do it with a grinder. Knock those off, like that piece, cut that off. That over there, cut that off. And then start over there. Like, I already started right there, but cut more of that off. And then, I don't know, figure something out. Just a little at a time. It's a lot of work. Cleaning it out is going to be the roughest because the dash has got to come out, and I'll show you guys how rough it looks under the dash, because that's where I put all the fuses. Like, there's the IPDM, and there's should be another one right there to the right. But yeah, gonna get all this cleaned out, get all of it put back together, put the slicks up, or the radials up, and then yeah, get it over to the shop. This thing, I'm hopefully having it on the ground, back on the ground, and rolling, and potentially moving under its own power, stopping under its own power this year. and maybe if everything settles right, we could get the rest of it finished up. So the turbo kit, the radiator, all that stuff, because this time I want to do everything a little bit more. I had overheating problems with the car, so instead of having the fans up here, I want to have the fans on this side. I've got a car, like Corvette water pump, so I need to get a Corvette harmonic balancer, alternator, and all that stuff. So a lot of parts ordering. There's a lot of parts I already have. Like, I could repurpose a lot of the stuff that I do have, but it's like, I mean, don't want to crash a lot of the stuff again. So slow progress, but the winter is practically over, so we'll get a lot more moving here soon.